Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall, and we're here with the Extreme Forces Racing League at the Monster Mile, Dover International Speedway. And we're here with the Tuesday Night Tussle Next Gen Series, and we're looking to have a great one here tonight. On Intensity Broadcasting, we've got practice on track at the moment. And it looks like right now at the top of the speed charts, we've got Joe Wright, Tyler Aspinall right behind him as we see the 7 of Bryn George get up into the wall. And Dover's a tricky track. Concrete monster. It's known as the Monster Mile as we see 2 cars miss pit road right there and catch that inside wall right there. And we're getting ready to have a great race here. Let's take a look at our point standings as they stand right now. And currently, Brady Floyd is still your leader in the points, with Chris Wheeler, Joe Wright, Jimmy Green, Jacob Bowen, your top 5. Austin Green, Bryn George, David Wright, Stan Marbury, and Mike Rentz make up your top 10. So, as you see Rob Hamilton out on track right behind the scoring here. We got about a minute and a half left in practice before we get racing underway here. Again, as always, thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. If this is your first time watching a race here on Intensity. This is race number 5 of the season here at Dover, and got some fast cars here who've still made it in. We're seeing Eddie Morris on track. Eddie missed last week, but he's back on track tonight as he's struggling getting off of turn number 2. And this is a tricky track. A lot of people have never really seen Dover, and the tricky part about it is it's like running in a roller coaster. You can see right now you come through the corner, and then when you come off the corner, it kind of goes up a hill. And then when you dive down into the corner, you are literally diving down into the corner. It drops off, and it really unsettles the car getting off the corner. It's really easy to get really loose into the corner and really loose coming off the corner. Especially concrete surface, not a lot of grip. As we see Jimmy Green trying to practice a pit stop, he also misses pit road, and that's going to be another thing to watch out for tonight is how many people miss pit road if we have a green flag pit stop. As checker flag is out in the practice session, we're getting ready for some qualifying here at Dover. Again, once again, thanks for joining us here on Intensity Broadcasting. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us here tonight. If you're watching on eRacing TV, we appreciate you watching there as well. What's eRacing TV? Well, it's a free app that you can download for your Fire Stick or your Roku, and you can watch live e-racing 7 nights a week right there on your big screen. So we got our first car going out on track right now, and that's the 45 of Tyler Aspinall. Tyler rocking the pink look tonight, as we do all through October. You'll notice the pink logo up on the Intensity logo there, and it is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As Tyler got up into the wall, so he's going to cut in here, try that all over again. Right now, Dave Wright up on track now. Yes, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Sunday night, we did have a great charity race with the Original Rebels Racing Series. Racing League, they had their first ever women's night, and they were able to raise a decent amount of money for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And if you'd like to donate some money towards eradicating that awful disease, please go to bcrf.org and make a donation to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Well, currently up at the top of the board, we've got the 22 of Chris Wheeler, who just finished up his lap, and he is at the top of the board. Rob Hamilton currently sitting in second. And you're seeing his car push way up the track as Jimmy Green just moved up in the second, and Rob Hamilton's actually fallen back quite a bit. See Eddie Morris out on track. Well, it doesn't look like he's going to get his lap started. Looks like he's going to pull back in. Looks like Tyler's back out on track. Try to get his car up to speed here to get a good lap in. Taking it nice and easy on his out lap. That way he can save those tires for the... Well, maybe he's just going to pull off here. Well, I take that back. He makes a liar out of me. Here's the 3 of Josh Carver on track, as Jacob Bowen jumps to the top of the speed charts. You see Carver pushing way up the track. Carver's actually diving in the corner quite a bit. Entering low, kind of letting it slide up high. Run that middle lane there. Then he's going to drive it down off the corner. Try to get as much speed out of it as he can. Kind of like you'd see at Bristol. Moves up into the 5th position. This is going to be a second lap here. See if he can improve on that time. As he comes through turns 3 and 4. Gets right down. Tries to get down to the bottom here, but a couple feet off of it. Comes off the corner. Stays off the wall. And Josh Carver is going to jump up to the provisional pole at the moment. We know who was fast in practice was this 82 machine of Joe Wright, currently sitting in 8th on his first lap. Let's see what he can do here on his second lap as he comes off of turn number 4 and across the line. And Joe's going to move up to the pole. Actually runs an identical time as Josh Carver. Both ran a 22.80 on my screen. I believe that is separating those two by 0.001, which you see right there rolling across the top of the screen. So what a tight qualifying attempt between those two right there. Austin Green out on track right now, the last car to qualify. So we got about 30 seconds left in qualifying here. Austin is on his second lap. Oh, he catches the wall. That's going to disallow his lap, and he's only going to be able to run a 23.08, which is going to put him into the 7th position. Here on iRacing, if you get any kind of contact with the wall or anything that would give you an incident point, that would disallow your time. So that's why his second lap is not going to count. Almost like in Formula One where they exceed track limits. So qualifying is over. And let's take a look at our starting grid here in the Extreme Forces Racing League here at Dover International Speedway. And on pole tonight, the 82 machine, Intensity's own Joseph Wright with Josh Carver in the 3, starting in the outside row. Jacob Bowen, the 28, he'll be rolling off 3rd with 22 of Chris Wheeler in the 4th position. 5th position, we'll find the Chevy of Jimmy Green, and then Eddie Morris in the 8. Austin Green in the 15 Chevy, he'll be rolling off 7th with Brady Floyd in the Viagra machine rolling off in 8th. Rob Hamilton in the 5 rolling off 9th, and rounding out your top 10, the 24 of Dave Wright. Bryn George in the 7. He'll be rolling off 11th with Tyler Aspinall in the 12th position. 13th position is going to see the 19 of Max McClure. Then Stoney Benfield and Brooke Qualley is going to round out the field here in the 15th and final starting position. So as we get ready here for 130 laps, see the field starting to roll. Take a look at your track info here. Dover International. It's a 1 mile concrete oval here in Dover, Delaware. And track temperature isn't going to mean too much, as with the concrete surface. It's going to be more about how these guys can manage their tires than anything here tonight. So Joe Wright's going to lead them down to the starting zone, with Josh Carver on the outside. And pace car's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Joe's going to lead him down to the green flag. See Jacob Bowen laying back just a little bit off Joe here. So green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Dover, and a great jump for Joe Wright, as you can imagine, with Jacob Bowen laying back that far. But Josh Carver trying to make that high side work. Trying to tuck in now behind Joe. Not going to happen as Jacob Bowen looks to the inside. Josh Carver gets really loose there on that high side. That's going to check Jacob Bowen up, and he's going to fall back into the third position with Chris Wheeler right there on his back bumper as they come across the line for the first time. Joseph Wright's going to lead the first lap here at Dover. But Josh Carver is right there on that back bumper trying to take a little air off that spoiler. Now he's going to look down to the bottom here as they go into turns 3 and 4. Carver's going to have the inside line. Joe Wright's going to have that higher line. Is he going to be able to take that momentum off the corner as he pinches Carver down just a little bit? And he's going to be able to keep the lead here. Now Jacob Bowen looking down to the inside of Josh Carver, trying to take that second position away. And right behind Chris Wheeler, trying to follow him right along as well, as Carver gets really loose on that high side. That forces Bowen all the way down to the inside wall, but he's still fighting back on that inside line. Jimmy Green now coming into the picture as Jacob Bowen's going to have to tuck in back behind. Oh, Josh Carver gets loose on the front stretch into the inside wall. Oh, a bunch of cars come sliding in. Yellow flag is out. And that's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night. Let's see if we can get a little wide view here or see exactly what happened as there's more cars piling in behind Josh Carver here. And you see Carver up on that high side, no contact made, just gets loose all by himself here in front of Bowen. You see Jimmy Green on the inside, loose as well, but able to, well, I thought he was going to save it, but you see Green now sideways. Sorry, that was Jimmy Green here sideways. Comes back up across the track, hits Brady Floyd. Floyd goes hard into the inside wall. Oh, Eddie Morris almost snuck through there. You see the 15 and Dave Wright, Tyler Aspinall sneaking through there as well. Looks like the rest of the field is going to make their way through there unscathed, but tough break for these guys. Eddie Morris. Eddie doing a great job avoiding that, as we can actually ride along here with Eddie and take a look exactly what he saw here. So hard impact with that inside wall for Eddie Morris. You see Josh Carver coming up back onto the track with we're trying to find his pit stall, I think, with a lot of damage to that machine. Eddie Morris still on pit road getting his fixed up. Brady Floyd, Jimmy Green, as the field is now coming down the backstretch. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night. We have a doubleheader with the late model series kicking off at 8 o'clock, followed by the SCSRA Xfinity series taking on Road America tomorrow night. That's going to be a challenge watching these guys try to get around on the road course. Thursday night, you'll have your Thunderstruck late model series. Friday night, the Original Rebels Extreme Xfinity series from Bristol. It's going to be on dirt. That'll be a fun one to watch. And then you have the Send It Cup series on Saturday. And the playoffs start on Sunday for the Original Rebels, Outlaws, and Sunday Night Truck Series. So you don't want to miss that, as the playoffs always make it an exciting time. The lights on the pace car are off. I believe they're off. Yes, they are off. Joe Wright's going to take the high side here on this restart, putting Jacob Bowen down on the bottom. We'll have to see if Joe's able to get a great jump here. Don't forget, we will have a stage break up on lap number 20. Patrick Boer says, are these the next-gen cars? These are the next-gen cars here on iRacing at Dover. So you're seeing a little next-gen series racing here on Intensity Broadcast as Joe Wright's going to lead him back to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Great jump again for that 82 machine off Jacob Bowen. And we see Chris Wheeler trying to work that low side right now. Trying to get around the 15 of Austin Green. He's going to do it. And now Joe Wright's got a challenge for the lead. Jacob Bowen looking down to the inside line. Oh, pushes up the track. Little contact between those two, but they keep it going in the right direction and move Jacob Bowen up into the point. Here comes Chris Wheeler now with a head of steam trying to get up there. Oh, one car way down on the low side, Austin Green. As Jacob Bowen continues to lead, but now Joe Wright's slowly sliding his way back up to the front. Now Joe gets a little loose off the corner there, pushes up the track, has to catch it. That's going to allow Jacob Bowen's lead to extend just a little bit. Brady Floyd still on pit road, still getting his damage fixed, as Joseph Wright is starting to close in here on Jacob Bowen, and Joe trying to use that bumper to get around Bowen, as Joe has a little internet glitch right there. And it's a great battle heating up here for the lead, and while these guys are running hard trying to keep each other honest here, Chris Wheeler is coming up into the picture as well. Joe trying to sneak that little bit lower line there. Just not able to get down there, as Tyler Aspinall has now moved himself up into the 4th position. And now Aspinall is trying to chase down Chris Wheeler for that 3rd spot. Wheeler was starting to gain on these two. Now he's starting to fall back just a little bit. You see that 22 machine getting just a little bit loose there off the corners. Joe Wright now is right back to the back bumper of that 28 machine. Joe using a little bit of a diamond there, running a little bit higher into the entry. And Bowen gets a little loose there in the corner. And now Joe right there on that back bumper, trying to run that higher line in again and trying to run that lower line off. A little further back, we got Josh Carver, who's got his car fixed up. Used his reset early. Now he's battling here with Dave Wright, trying to take away the 5th position. Joe is the blinky ghost tonight, and that's unusual at Joe, as Dave gets up in the wall. That's going to allow Carver to get right on by. And Bowen now starting to pull away from Joe just a little bit. Joe seems to be just so much better through turns 3 and 4, where Bowen's a lot better through turns 1 and 2. So you're seeing these two cars pretty even on track. Right now they're running pretty identical times. Last time by, Bowen ran a 23:13 to Joe Wright's 23:09. So about 6 hundredths of a second separate those two. Is now Joe starting to lay back just a little bit, try to save his tires, and just following those tire tracks of that 28 machine. A little further back, we've got Austin Green all over the back bumper of Dave Wright, trying to take over the 6th position. And just behind Bryn George in the 7 there as well. And I think Dave's got a little bit of damage after hitting the wall pretty hard. So that right side of that vehicle might be a little banged up, and that's slowing him down just a little bit. As we see Green trying to look down to the inside, but just not able to do it. As we're coming up to the end of the stage here, Jacob Bowen continues to lead as we come off the corner to take lap number 20. And we're waiting for that caution flag to come out to signify the end of the stage, which should happen next time on the backstretch, as caution will come out on lap 20. Or after the completion of lap 20, excuse me. And now Chris Wheeler looking to the inside. Joe Wright trying to get another stage point, but Jacob Bowen is going to be your stage winner. Joe Wright's going to be 2nd. Chris Wheeler's going to be 3rd. I'm still waiting for that caution flag to come out as Jacob Bowen's coming off a turn number 4. And they made a liar out of me. So Chris Wheeler up into that 2nd position, trying to run Bowen down. Here comes Josh Carver back into the mix as well. Carver, we know, shooting some speed. He's going to be on some fresher tires now as well, after getting that damage fixed and using that reset. So Josh Carver in the 3 right now is the fastest car on track by a whole lot, as we see Chris Wheeler get really loose off the corner. That's going to allow Carver to get right there, almost stick to the back bumper, almost gets into the back of the 22. Able to hold on to it. And folks, that's why my math is bad. 20% of this race would be lap 24. So now the caution flag should be coming out on this lap to signify the end of the stage. And again, Jacob Bowen will be your stage winner. There's your end of the stage right there. My mistake. So that doesn't change the winner. The winner of the stage still is the 28 of Jacob Bowen from Reno, Nevada. Chris Wheeler is going to come home 2nd. Josh Carver in 3rd. Joe Wright, Austin Green, Bryn George, Dave Wright coming home in 7th. Rob Hamilton 8th. Tyler Aspinall back in 9th. And Max McClure will get that final stage point in that Titans machine. So I imagine we're going to see the entire field coming down here on the pit road. No, it looks like the top 3 are going to stay out. Joe Wright, the first car to come down onto pit road. Slow pit road speed here too, 35 miles an hour. Which feels like crawling, and it almost looks like crawling with these cars coming down pit road as well. See if we can find the race off pit road here. Here they come, and it looks like Joe Wright will be the first car off of pit road. The 7 of Bryn George comes off 2nd. a lot of drivers still getting some repairs done on pit road. Here comes the 5 of Rob Hamilton off of pit road as well. Dave Wright coming off pit road next. So interesting call, strategy call here, having Jacob Bowen staying out. Actually, your top 3 staying out on older tires here, as we'll see that tires will make quite a bit of a difference here. Take a look at the chat here, and Patrick Bowler says we might be looking for a driver to sponsor Bully Dog Coffee Company. You can send a message on iRacing over to Max McClure, and we can see what we can do, or we can get a hold of you. Have somebody get a hold of you. Jennifer Bowen says Joe is the Blinky Ghost tonight. Said that already. She's cheered on the 21 and or 28, excuse me, and the 28 gets the win. So, but again, kind of surprised to see these guys staying out with just a handful of laps on, or after having that many laps on the tires. So we're getting ready to restack them, re-rack them, refire them here at Dover International Speedway. And it looks like Jacob Bowen's going to take the high side on this restart. Seeing that high side get a little better launch and have that preferred line into the corner. Patrick, I will pass that information along. So Jacob Bowen, again, your leader here up on that high side. Chris Wheeler going to restart on the inside. Josh Carver is going to restart third. Joe Wright back in fourth. And then Bryn George and Rob Hamilton, your top 6. And so far, pretty clean racing. Up at the front, we have the one caution from a self-spin on those fresh tires. We'll have to see if that is those cold tires play factor back in here again as Jacob Bowen immediately gets back to the gas. Chris Wheeler's caught sleeping. Green flag's back in the air, and Wheeler's going to go all the way from second back into the 4th position as Joe Wright's going to try to chase Jacob Bowen back down here. Again, Joe, on those fresh tires, we're going to see what fresh tires are going to look like compared to the 24 lap tires that are on that Jacob Bowen machine. Again, it's going to take a couple laps for that 82 to get up to speed with those tires. Already see just a little bit loose off the corner, but quickly gaining on the 28 of Jacob Bowen. As they come off of turn number 4, and you can see the speed difference between those two cars as Joe's running 0.2 of a lap quicker, and Bowen's going to have no choice but to stay up on that high side and let Joe on by. Oh, the 5 of Rob Hamilton hard into the inside wall, lost it all by himself. No caution, though. We're going to keep rolling as Joe Wright is going to continue to lead. A little further back, we've got a battle going on back here between Dave Wright and Austin Green. Ooh, Green gets a little loose there, hits the apron in the middle of the corner. That's allowed Wright to charge right back up to the back bumper. Just in front, we see Chris Wheeler, Tyler Aspinall battling side by side. Tyler Aspinall trying to get up into the 5th position as they come through turns 1 and 2, and Aspinall's going to take over that 5th position. And he's going to set his sights on the 7 of Bryn George. We're seeing these New tires working real well for these drivers. As right now, Joe Wright is running 0.4 of a second faster than second place Jacob Bowen. But Jacob able to hold his own right now on those older tires. Joe is pulling away, but the cars behind him really aren't catching him all too quickly. Like here comes Bryn George. One of those cars that pitted just a little bit earlier. Tyler Aspinall as well. So now you're starting to see those fresh tires really eat up that 28 machine, as here goes Bryn George down to the inside. And Aspinall is going to be helpless out there on those older tires, as those newer tires are going to prevail. So that's going to drop Bowen back into the 4th position, but there's a lot of race left, a lot of time left. See Josh Carver push way up the track here. Now Carver's tires are just a little bit fresher than Jacob's, but not much, as Carver last pit on lap number 5, where the rest of the field was in on lap number 26. While that's going on, Joe Wright's lead is stretching out to over 2 seconds, but right now Tyler Aspinall is gaining on Joe. And if you look at the lap history here, you can see the last 2 of the last 5 laps, Aspinall's been just a little bit quicker. And as Aspinall comes across the line this time, we'll see that Aspinall is about a 10th quicker still than Joe. Well, now we can ride along with Joe here, and let's hear how much he's on the gas and off the gas here. Tries to get back to the gas so much earlier, but just has to lift out of it now if we listen right along with Aspinall. And these tires are already starting to give up a little bit, as we're seeing Aspinall working the wheel in there. Take a look at his hands as he goes through the corner here. Having to turn back right, which is not a feeling that you ever want to have as a driver. Oh, and Bryn George catches the wall just a little bit, not enough to hurt anything, as he's going to try to get right underneath Aspinall here and take over that 2nd position. So Aspinall's starting to struggle a little bit. We saw him battling a bit of a loose race car there, and he looks like he's starting to get a little what we call push loose, where the car is really tight. It's not really turning the way he wants it to, so he's put a little extra wheel into the car. It's actually causing the car to get loose. Jacob Bowen has fallen back into the 6th position, and he's got Max McClure running him down right now. So the 2 cars that stayed out, the 28 of Jacob Bowen and the 22 of Chris Wheeler, both struggling just a little bit right now. Jimmy Green, or Rob Hamilton was the other one that stayed out. It looks like right now he's going to be coming to pit road. He's got a lot of damage to that machine, and it's just not helping him staying out there. So he's going to come down on the pit road and get that service done. As Joe Wright's lead is starting to grow now, as his lap times over Bryn George are starting to increase. We'll see Tyler Aspinall here. Just had a little bit of a run on Bryn George. George is a second ahead, but Tyler slowly bringing that, closing that gap lap after lap. Right now it looks like the field's really starting to get spread out here. Take a look at our track map and you can see, oh, it looks like the 5 of Rob Hamilton having some issues. He was slowed down on the inside of the track, and Looks like when it's all said and done, he's going to be 3 laps down. Back at the front, though, Joe Wright. Currently your leader. With almost a 3.5 second gap over Bryn George, who, as Joe is just coming through turns 3 and 4, as Joe's coming off of turn number 4, we see George just going in to turn 3. Here comes Austin Green looking down to the inside of Tyler Aspinall to take over that 3rd position. And again, that 5 machine is on newer tires, so he is going to be just a little bit quicker than the rest of the field. And we got a little battle shaping up here between Tyler Aspinall and Josh Carver. That's the 25 of Jimmy Green going by. Jimmy is also a couple laps down right now. But Carver is slowly catching Tyler Aspinall. Aspinall's struggles are continuing as he's in jeopardy of losing that 5th position. As we are about 10 laps away from halfway. Saw Max McClure getting really loose there in the background, and he's able to hold on to it, but he gets passed by the 22 of Chris Wheeler. And right now, Dave Wright in the 24 is the last car on the lead lap. But he's got his brother Joe catching him quickly as Joe's just coming off of turn number 2. Josh Carver and Tyler Aspinall still going at it as Carver has taken over 4th place. Jacob Bowen starting to climb back from his earlier issues and starting to catch the 45 of Aspinall. So as these two continue to battle here for the 5th position, Bowen's going to look down to the inside as they're going to race side by side off of turn number 2. And Aspinall's going to hold on to that position, but here comes Bowen back to the inside. And he's going to take over that 5th position pretty easily through turns 3 and 4. And you see that all night. Bowen just being a little bit quicker than people through turns 3 and 4. As Joe Wright's lead continues to grow, almost a 5-second lead for the 82 machine as he's going to lap the 24 of Dave Wright. And Bryn George just crossing the line now. Austin Green, though, starting to catch George just a little bit. Last time by, Austin Green was a bit faster than George. And Joe Wright, the only car that is still consistently running in the 23-second bracket range. We'll battle back here between Chris Wheeler and Tyler Aspinall as Josh Carver has just come down on the pit road to get his service done. gets around Aspinall as Joe Wright has come across the line and taken the cross flags. We are halfway through this event, with Joe Wright still having just over a 5-second lap as he laps the 8 machine of Eddie Morris to keep only 7 cars on the lead lap. And the next car that's going to fall victim to Joe is going to be the 19 of Max McClure. Jacob Bowen and Tyler Aspinall both on pit road. And you'll see just how slow these cars are crawling down pit road as the leaders come on by. There goes Joe Wright right there. Eddie Morris. So Joe's going to... That's going to leave only 5 cars out on the lead lap. Chris Wheeler also comes down onto pit road. As Joe Wright comes by to put him a lap down as well. So Joe having a fantastic run here tonight. And you can hear he's just solidly running the car right now. Not really pushing the car as hard as some of the other guys. You see his hands as he comes off the corner, keeping that car pointed in the right direction. We're not seeing a lot of correction like we've seen with some of the other drivers, not really having to turn the wheel all the way to the right. And it looks like he's just out there on a Sunday drive. Austin Green still trying to catch the 7 of Bryn George. They've been trading back lap times back and forth. But after they run right now, Bryn George still has the advantage over Austin Green. As we see the 3 of Josh Carver carving through the field here on those fresh tires. And you're really able to see now just the difference that fresh tires are going to have. So you're right along with Josh Carver here. Oh, gets a little loose there off the corner. We saw that little bit of a correction out of the 3 car. And something's happened. I thought something happened to Austin Green there, but he's now falling back a second off of Bryn George, and you see some more cars coming. You got Eddie Morris. These guys just went around. So you're starting to see what the fresher tires are going to do as we see Tyler Aspinall trying to navigate through lap traffic. Almost runs into the back of the 25 of Jimmy Green, but able to play it smart and get on by. And now he's going to try to get around the 5 of Rob Hamilton, who's also a few laps down. And as Aspinall catches the 15 of Austin Green, who's running in 3rd, you can really see the difference in lap and speed between fresh tires and old tires. Joe Wright continues to lead, and his lead has now grown to over 7 seconds over Bryn George. And, well, Joseph Wright just putting on a bit of a schooling on these boys tonight. Has easily led the most laps of anybody here tonight. You see Carver go on by, and Joe's going to just let him go. As we got a battle back here. Oh, Dave Wright having some issues way down on the bottom side of the track, and that car does not sound like it's running right as we ride along with Dave here. And yeah, you can hear that car is misfiring quite a bit. And he's going to have to bring that 24 machine down onto pit road. Let's see if we can see what happened to Dave Wright there. So replay here, yeah, Dave Wright down on the bottom of the track, and well, we saw the damage that he had earlier, so I'm wondering if his motor just let go. Yep, that's exactly what happened. His motor just expired on him, so he's going to have to sit on pit road and get that thing fixed up. While that's going on, Joe Wright's lead is, well, I was going to say it has shrunk down, but that's because he's coming down the pit road. So your leader comes down on the pit road. That's going to give the lead over to Bryn George. We'll follow Joe's pit stop here. As now that he's in, I imagine the rest of the field is thinking about coming down to pit as well. Max McClure also comes down onto pit road. Well, let's see what Austin Green does as Austin Green goes by. And that's going to put Joe one lap down. Now Austin Green's going to come down on the pit road. We see a little damage to the right side of that machine. Bryn George following him down on the pit road as well. Joe Wright's going to get back out on track. Currently going to be in the 8th position. But we know that Jacob Bowen, Josh Carver, Tyler Aspinall are going to have to pit at least one more time. As we see, oh, they can go about 50 laps. So these drivers up front right now, Eddie Morris hasn't come on the pit road at all. He's still last pit on lap 26. And that machine, as beat up as it is currently the lead car. As now Eddie Morris is going to come down. Oh, Eddie misses pit road completely. Remember we were talking about it earlier, just how hard it is to get on the pit road. And Eddie's going to drive right by pit road. He's going to have to come around again, and hopefully he's got enough gas in the tank to get around one more. We'll ride along with Eddie here just so you can see how difficult it is to get on the pit road here. Because it comes up quick. So that's going to give the lead back to the 28 of Jacob Bowen. But the 3 of Josh Carver right there on the back bumper. Trying to take that lead back away. Then you have to go back almost 6 seconds to find 3rd place, Chris Wheeler. And currently, Joe Wright is 9 seconds behind the 28 of Jacob Bowen on much fresher tires, as we have less than 40 laps to go. see what these two can do. If they can save a little bit of fuel to get themselves to the end, or if they have enough in the tank to make it. As we got a great battle shaping up here between the 28 and the 3. A couple old school paint jobs. The Davey Allison 28. The Dale Earnhardt Good Wrench number 3. Some classic takes on some classic cars on these new next-gen cars. And I'm personally excited to see these cars on track next year. They're showing a lot of promise and a lot of speed already. We're watching the, if anybody's watched any of the tire testing that they've been doing at Charlotte in these new cars. Cars are going to be a lot harder to drive for these drivers next year in real life, and that's going to make the racing much more competitive. And anything to make the product better, I'm all for. Joe Wright has moved up into the 3rd position. And he was just 8 seconds back. He is now 4 seconds back of Josh Carver, and coming in a hurry as we can actually get a live delta from Josh Carver back. And you can see how fast that lead is shrinking. As it was just 4 seconds a moment ago, now it's almost down to 3 seconds as Joe is currently running just about a second a lap faster. So within the next 5 laps, we should see Joe Wright run down and catch the 28 in the 3. Now it looks like when Joe catches these guys, it's not even going to be fair for him. As we take a look off the back bumper of the 3 machine, and you can see that black and purple car slowly catching the 3 of Josh Carver. Gap is now just about a second and a half. We hear Carver having to get out of the gas as he got real loose. You got Dave Wright in the 24, also on some fresher tires, but he is currently a lap down as he's trying to catch this group right here in front as well. There's the 24 looking down to the inside. Josh Carver really having to feather that throttle to keep from spinning, even on the front stretch. Not able to go full throttle. That's allowing Joe Wright to catch quickly, and Joe is there. Oh, Joe's not going to be able to get it that time as he's going to have to wisely back out, but as they go through the corner, there goes the 82 of Joe Wright. Right on by. Move Joe up into the 2nd position. Dave Wright going to let Joe right on by as Dave is a lap down. He's going to move Joe into fresher air here. Surprised Dave's running Joe this hard as Joe's trying to chase down the leader. Oh, and yellow flag is out. Well, that's going to change everything. That's going to bring up our second, real wreckage rewind of the night. And it looks like it's going to be for the 45 of Tyler Aspinall. Let's see if we can see what happened to Aspinall here. As he's got the 15 of Austin Green right there on his back bumper. And Tyler just pushes right up the track, catches the wall, and loses it all by himself down to the inside wall. And Spins out, ooh, right there. Almost collects somebody else. Able to keep it rolling, though. And there goes the leaders on by. Well, here comes everybody down onto pit road. Jacob Bowen, Joseph Green. Austin Green stays out on track. So the 15 machine gambling here, staying out on those older tires. But here comes everybody else. See Tyler Aspinall hitting his pit stall. There goes Jacob Bowen and Joe Wright down to their spots. Josh Carver's in. Chris Wheeler. Max McClure coming down the backstretch. I thought he was staying out. We'll see if he comes down onto pit road here to get tires and some damage fixed. Jacob Bowen's going to win the race off pit road. Joe Wright's going to be second. There's Josh Carver. Chris Wheeler. So that was it for the race off pit road. Really wasn't much of a race, but here goes Jacob Bowen up into the second position. That's going to leave Austin Green out there on older tires. And if we take a look at the pit strategy, last time these guys were in on pit road, oh, it's going to be a second till they cycle back around by the by the start finish line to get the right number here. There it is. We take a look at the stints, and 17 tires, 17 lap old tires on that 15 machine compared to everybody behind him who's got just one. And I think that's going to play a huge factor here coming down to the end as we're under 24 laps to go. Patrick Bowler says in the chat that the 28 is looking good. 28 does look really good. We know Joe Wright's showing a lot of speed here tonight. We've seen Josh Carver show a lot of speed on the shorter runs as Carver's still in pit road. Getting some damage fixed right now, so we'll see if that 3 machine's able to challenge here or if the battle's going to be between the 28 and the 82. And if those two have some issues with each other, can the 22 of Chris Wheeler, who's hanging out in 4th place right now, sneak in there as well? We see Chris currently in the 4th position, also just came down pit road a few moments ago and got some fresh tires. As we know, fresh tires can be a blessing and a curse on the restarts here. As Austin Green is going to choose the inside this time. We've seen the leaders take the outside lane almost all night, but this time he's going to take the inside lane and put Jacob Bowen up on that high side. But that leaves a huge advantage to Bowen now, because as long as the green flag is out, Bowen can actually beat the 15 to this finish to the start finish line and easily take over that position. I think the driver who's in the most trouble on this restart's Joe Wright. As the pace car pulls off, Green hits the gas. We're back green flag racing. Bowen has an awful start. That's going to allow Joe Wright to get right down to the inside, but here comes Bowen fighting back on the high side as they are nose to tail through turns 1 and 2. Joe takes a look down to the inside. Now he looks up to the high side. Bowen going to go around Green here on the low side, as again, Green on those older tires is just no match for the 82 and the 28 on freshies, as Joe Wright got really loose, had to chase the car up the track. We've seen Joe not fire off the quickest, but have really good long run speed. And you're seeing that right now as Joe's quite a bit loose right now on these fresh tires. Now he gets around the 15 and he's able to run his own line as they were almost just 3 wide behind as the 25 was trying to make it 3 wide. That was Jimmy Garrett. Oh, we got one around. Chris Wheeler around on the backstretch, hard into the inside wall, along with Austin Green, and I believe... Oh, they're still coming and piling in. Max McClure able to check up, but man, we got a big one here. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind, and we're going to have to take a minute to sort this out, as there was a lot of cars involved in this one. We're going to have to take a look here from the high in the sky here with the blimp, and let's see if we can see exactly what happened to Chris Wheeler. Chris Wheeler running on the low side. The 15, looks like the 15 got a little bit loose there. You saw the back end starting to over-rotate. That pinches the 22 down. And on new tires, you really don't want to be pinched down. Oh, he just gets loose off the corner, comes up into the side of the 15, catches the 25. The 3 of them are hard to the inside wall. And then we see George Bryn just barely getting through. Here's Dave Wright, just nowheres to go. The 5 of Rob Hamilton, another one just nowheres to go, catches Eddie Morris involved as well, as they all just came piling in with things just happening so fast, just like we see at Bristol. We're seeing it here on a track very similar shape to Bristol, just a lot longer. So that's going to move Joe right up into the second spot now. And your top 5 all on the same tire strategy. You've got Jacob Bowen in the lead, Joseph Wright in second, Josh Carver sitting back in third, Max McClure making his way up into the 4th position, Tyler Aspinall in 5th. Then you're going to have Chris Wheeler in 6th, and Chris does have a little bit fresher tires due to just pitting. And he's going to have a fresh car as he was able to use his reset. See Eddie Morris going back down onto pit road, and the front end of that car is missing. The front clip's missing on that. We see Tyler Aspinall right behind with quite a bit of front end damage to that machine as well. Dave Wright still in his pit stall with a lot of damage. Jimmy Green also quite a bit of damage, but Aspinall does not have a reset. Neither does Eddie Morris, I don't think. We'll have to take a look here. And yeah, you can see front bumper still missing off that 8 machine. So it looks like the day is pretty much done for Eddie Morris. All he can hope for is to get around Aspinall and Austin Green to try to take 2 more points away towards this championship battle. Well, one thing I've noticed tonight is Joe Wright has definitely adapted to these new next-gen cars, winning last week, then showing a solid performance here again tonight. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, refire them. Jacob Bowen's going to take the high side on this restart, putting Joe Wright down on the bottom, and that's going to put Max McClure up on the high side and Josh Carver right behind Joe. And I don't know how much of a good strategy this is for the 28, as we've seen Joe really fire off well on that low line the last restart. We'll have to see what he's able to do here on this restart. As pace car pulls off, Jacob Bowen immediately hits the gas, and that's how you leave the 82 behind you, by getting that good run into off the corner to take the green flag. And now Josh Carver right there on the back bumper of the 82 as they come down the backstretch. And Joe having to do a little bit of mirror driving. That's going to let the 28 start to drive away. With 15 laps to go, counted 14 laps as they cross the line. And Joe Wright able to stay right ahead of that 3 machine, but they're running pretty much identical laps right now. But the fastest car on the track at the moment is the 28 of Jacob Bowen. And as long as this stays green, this is going to come down right down to the end, I think, as Josh Carver almost gets up into the wall. He's able to hold on to it, and Joe Wright starting to pull away just a little bit. Joe Wright did just run his fastest lap of the race, in the fastest lap of the race, the 22:71. So Joe is pushing right now, trying to get that win. You can see him a little loose off the corner as he's doing everything he can to run down that 28 machine. Bowen now might be in a little bit of trouble. Bowen just ran his fastest lap of the race as well, a 22:78. And now as they run, Joe and Jacob running pretty much identical times right now. See that pink time, that means that was Joe's fastest lap of the race. Actually, the fastest lap of the race. And that time by Joe Wright, just a little bit quicker. And as they cross the line this time, the number's green yet again. Joe's still just a little bit quicker, but is he going to have enough time, as we have less than 10 laps to go, to settle it here at Dover? And Joe is starting to turn on those afterburners and come after Jacob Bowen. Eight laps to go here. The battle for the lead is about to heat up as Joe is continuing lap after lap to reel in this 28 machine of Jacob Bowen. Both running that middle line into the corner, diming it down off the corner to try to get as much speed as they can. Joe's cut the lead down to just under half a second. And this is the part of the run where that 82 really starts to show some speed. He's been able to work that car to make that car work on the long run, as he is slowly catching the 28 machine. As next time we cross the line, there's going to be just 5 laps to go. We got a battle for second now, as Josh Carver has just taken over the second position from Joe Wright. So now a little bit of a plot twist here, as Carver, now the fastest car on track, as he's trying to run down Jacob Bowen now with just 4 laps to go. This could be a 3-horse battle here at the end. We cross the line here. We'll have just 3 laps to go to settle it. As long as we don't get a yellow, which brings out a green-white checker, that would change everything. Now Joe Wright starting to fall back quite a bit off that 3 machine. Josh Carver really battling. Joe Wright up into the wall. Joe has caught the wall. That is going to slow him down tremendously. The 3 turns to 28. Jacob Bowen hard into the wall. Caution is out. I don't believe it. The 3 of Josh Carver has gotten into the back bumper of Jacob Bowen. Spins him around. That's going to bring up yet again another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see exactly what happened there. That was some tight, hard racing there between our leaders. And as they come into the corner, Carver dives down to the bottom. Jacob Bowen up in that middle lane like he's been running all race long. It looks like Carver just pushes right up the track, right up into the side of the 28. Might have been a little bit of... it's tough to say. They both kind of came together there. But Jacob Bowen definitely got the short end of the stick there. It's tough to really give that one a fair shake. Yeah, I can't fault either one of those drivers. They were both racing for the win right there. And a tough break for Jacob Bowen, who ran such a great race. Fortunately ends up in the wall. He's got a fresh car though. He's got some fresh tires. We got a green-white checker. This also brings another player into the mix here, Chris Wheeler. Chris Wheeler was last in on lap 102, so he's got a little bit fresher tires than Josh Carver and Joe Wright. Max McClure up here in the mix as well, in case Joe and Josh get together. Patrick, I agree. It's got to be a disappointment. Jennifer, I feel your pain. Jacob was having such a great run, but it's not over yet. We're still going to have ourselves a green-white checker to decide it. And a lot can happen in these couple laps. And what Jacob Bowen's got to do is just forget about what just happened. I know he's upset. He's got what we like to call the red mist. He's seeing red, and that's all he can see right now, but he's going to have to be smart here and on these fresh tires, use them to his advantage to get himself back up to the front. And if he can get back to that 3 machine, does he repay the favor? So as you come off of turn number 4, lights on the pace car should be going off this time. Which they do. Josh Carver is going to choose the inside line this time. Going to put Joe Wright up on the high side. Chris Wheeler, Max McClure, and Jacob Bowen, your top 5. Tyler Aspinall back into the top 6, but again, a lot of damage to that 45 machine. Then Austin Green running back in 7th. His car's looking pretty clean there. Green is the last car on the lead lap. Well, here we go for our first attempt at a green-white checker. Josh Carver is going to lead him back down to the restart zone. Pace car takes the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Carver's going to lead him back down. He's back to the gas. We're back green flag racing, and a great jump for that 3 machine. Here comes Chris Wheeler looking down to the inside of Joe Wright to try to take that second position away. And he's going to be able to clear him. Here comes Jacob Bowen, though, already up in the 4th position, making those new tires work. All over the back bumper of Joe Wright. Joe trying to throw a block. Here comes Bowen. Bowen gets into the back of the 82. 82 is able to hold on to it, but here goes Bowen. Right on by. More contact between the 82 and the 28. 82 up into the wall. White flag is in the air, so yellow flag will not come out. Jacob Bowen try to get by Chris Wheeler and get one last shot at that 3 machine. As they come into turn number 3, can Jacob Bowen use this last corner to get by, or Josh Carver as he comes off at turn number 4? Carver is going to take the win. Jacob Bowen's going to come home second. Chris Wheeler comes home in the 3rd position. Max McClure in 4th. Tyler Aspinall in 5th. And a heartbreak for the 82 of Joe Wright, who led so many laps, had the fastest lap of the race, and then gets caught up with Jacob Bowen. But your winner tonight, the 3 of Josh Carver, as he's going to burn it down here on the front stretch. See the battle scars on the right side of that car, and take a look at your results as Josh Carver comes home with the win here at Dover International Speedway. Looks like we have one car yet to cross the finish line, and that's why my results are not showing up. There they are. Josh Carver comes home with the win. Jacob Bowen, Chris Wheeler, Max McClure, Tyler Aspinall round out your top 5. Then Austin Green, Joe Wright, Eddie Morris, Bryn George, and Rob Hamilton round out the top 10. Dave Wright comes home 11th. Jimmy Green in 12th. Brady Floyd, Brooke Qualley, and Stoney Benfield round out the rest of the field. As we're going to talk with our top 3, we'll start with Chris Wheeler. Chris, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Man, great run tonight for you here at Dover. Kind of got caught in a little bit at the beginning there and kind of hang around out back most of the race, but come home with a top 3. Is that kind of the strategy once that mayhem started up on lap number 7, just to kind of take it easy there towards the beginning?
Yeah, my biggest goal was just get stage points at the start of the race, and then I just kind of made a decision just to stay out and just see. I wanted to see what the difference was in tires, see how bad the fall off was, and at first it was pretty bad, and then it kind of settled in, and I was starting to run them back down, even with 60 lap old tires, so it was pretty good. But if it wasn't for that one of those late cautions, I would have been pretty screwed though, because we were going to be on old tires, and everybody else was going to have fresh ones or fresher tires, so it lucked up for me. But then I run out of talent and wrecked myself coming off a 4, and that put me behind a little more there at the end.
Yeah, I noticed getting on and off of pit road here was really tricky for a lot of drivers. I saw Eddie Morris miss pit road at one point. I think somebody else missed pit road as well. What was the strategy for that? What were you trying to do just to get on and off pit road? Were you really backing it up coming off of turn number 3, or what were you kind of doing to make sure you got on and off clean?
Yeah, I was definitely not being aggressive with pit road at all. I tried it a few times in practice just to see how far I could push it. Could never quite get it slowed down enough, so I just made the decision just to take it easy. I may have took it a little too easy, because I know Jacob got about 5 seconds on me on that pit stop, with him pitting a lap earlier than me, and then me taking it really easy on the pit road entrance because 35 is slow.
Yeah, and right there in front of you, you got to see it firsthand, Jacob and Josh there. Did you think that was an opportunity for you to kind of steal this one when you saw those two get together?
I definitely thought it was a good opportunity. That definitely re-racked us and got me right back there to him. I felt like my tires were just a touch better than Josh's. It looks like his kind of come on those last few laps, but I was running him down as he was getting around Joe, and I thought that was a good opportunity. But he just got a little better jump on the restart, and I had to battle Joe a little bit to get around him, and just run out of time.
Well, before I let you go tonight, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you want to give tonight?
I'd just like to thank you guys for the great broadcast. Thank Max and Dean for putting this league on. I'd like to thank Jacob for being in my ear all night. We kind of just talk junk and just talk strategy, and it makes it a little more interesting when you got somebody to chat with.
For sure. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish. That's going to help you in the points a little bit tonight. And as we move on to Chicagoland, we'll see if you can pull out one there at Chicago.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing it. Hopefully I can talk to you again.
All right. Have a great one, Chris.
Yep, you too.
So that's your third place finisher, Chris Wheeler. Let's talk to your second place finisher and probably the biggest heartbreak of the race, Jacob Bowen. Jacob, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, man.
Man, that was a great run tonight. Led a bunch of laps. I thought it was going to come down to you and Joe at the end, and then Josh kind of came out of nowheres. I know you guys had that contact there. I don't know if you had a chance to review it yet or what happened there between you guys.
What happened between Josh and I is I came down a little bit, and I don't think he was expecting it. He caught the apron just a little bit and got up into me. It's no big deal, though. He didn't do it on purpose. He's a good guy, and I don't think he would ever do that.
Yeah, and I saw after that happened, you got back into pit road, got fresh tires, and it looked like you were going to come back through the field, and then you made some contact with Joe right there. And again, I know that was not intentional, but walk us through what was happening in those last couple laps.
So I got back up the field, and this is strictly, I'm not trying to call Joe out or anything. I came back up to the field. I got the run momentum down the backstretch, and, with 2 to go, man, I'm not going to lift, and he came down. So I bumped him, and he got loose. I let off. I wanted him to have the position because I didn't want to pass him like that. And as I was coming around the bottom of the corner with my fresh tires, he came down, I'm going to guess, to try and squeeze me. And I caught the apron a little bit and got into him. I totally didn't mean to wreck him there, and I wanted to race him clean for that. And Joe, if you're watching, that is my bad all the way, man.
Well, very respectful move right there. And from my point of view, it didn't look like it was intentional. So, but great race overall. You got to be happy winning the stage, getting a lot of stage points, and getting a lot of points here tonight with the second place finish.
Yeah, I think I'm up to 5th or 6th in the points. I'm not quite sure which one yet. They haven't released a matching set of point sheets, but I'm getting close. And with tonight's finish, it'll definitely be a lot higher.
Well, how do you like your chances next week at Chicagoland?
Not at all, man. Not at all.
Well, congrats on the second place finish here tonight at Dover. And we before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out? Any shout outs you got to give? Anybody you want to thank?
I want to thank my mom and for watching, Chris for supporting me, obviously, and I want to thank my girlfriend. They all helped me a lot with this.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, man. See you.
So that was your second place finisher, Jacob Bowen. I just saw Josh Carver, but it looks like he jumped out just before I was able to get the interview in. So unfortunately, we are not going to be able to talk to our winner tonight, Josh Carver. But thanks for joining us here on Intensity Broadcast, and we saw Josh Carver get the win in a great race here at Dover. Look forward to seeing what these guys put on for a show next week at Chicagoland. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe here on Intensity Broadcast. And we got a nice doubleheader for you tomorrow night. We're going to have the LS Late Model Series followed by the SCSRA Xfinity Series. That's going to be from Road America tomorrow night. So if you like some road racing, check that one out. It's going to be a great one. You got some road course swingers like Cody Moore, Brian Nudie, and Stephen Black in that one tomorrow night. So it should be a great one to watch. Again, my name's Josh Hall here on Intensity Broadcasting. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. And as always, as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.